Okay. You are very important. You are very important. Please leave us any messages for us and the speakers. Grandma says she watches our online book club every week. Let's say together, Grandma, good day. Although you're in Yunnan, we like to see you. Thanks to everyone for joining us, no matter where you are. Please share with you all your comments. Now we're going to start. You can watch it on Facebook. And due to some incidents last week, we can also start watching the program with YouTube. This is a new step forward. So you have the option of joining the program from YouTube. And please leave us your comments. Now you can see on the screen December 29th, Master will be visiting Kaohsiung, and these are the speakers for that day. At night, we have an extension. We have CEO from Kaohsiung, and we also have Yinjing, director, coming to us. Now you can see every week we have 3 different languages. In next year, we will have 4 languages every week. We love to be with you because you have positive energy. Now please rise. Make a bow to Buddha and the Master Cheng Yen. 1 bow, 2nd bow, and 3rd bow. Let's put our palms together. Pass on the Dharma lineage together. Promote the Tzu Chi spirit continuously. Cherish Tzu Chi affinities and the infinite meanings of Jing Si lineage. Let's raise our right hand and make a vow together. Move, move, move. Forward, forward, forward. Go, go, go. Do, do, do. Study and listen to the Dharma. We are more diligent and closer to Master's heart. If you're already closer to Master's heart, you can sit down. When we first started, Master gave us this present. Pass on the Dharma lineage and recruit talents. Diligently study together. Please raise your both hands and say hi to all friends globally. Pass on the Dharma lineage and recruit talents. Diligently study together. Good day, everyone. Now we have 18 line groups, and Master gave us this name, enlightened and compassionate. Pass on the Dharma lineage. Are you ready? Please give us a thumb up and share with others. We have many wonderful speakers today, so please invite your friends and families to this program. Master says, you are the Dharma messengers. Pass on the great Dharma mindfully. Master's ideal talents are modest and not arrogant, pure with self-respect, cultivation, and virtue. Always love selflessly and treat everyone equally. Open-minded and controlled temper. work diligently and harmoniously, show good etiquette in speeches and actions, enlightened, virtuous with a pure heart, focus on general principles, not trifles. With the above characteristics, they are qualified followers of Master. Master will feel at ease. Wish everyone be Master's ideal talent. Put your palms on your chest and say, relax, Master. We are your ideal disciples. So let's see what Master says. You are great. Thumbs up. And please tell your neighbors, thank you for coming to the book club together, and you are wonderful. Now we are going to read this together. So let's invite everyone. Encourage one another to talk about Tzu Chi. Confidently listen to the Dharma together, believe in our potential, and diligently maintain our initial aspirations. Beauty only comes from hard work. Glory does not come from waiting. Now we have multiple languages. English interpretation. Because of Master's instruction on April 25th, 2020, and we started from one English interpretation to so many languages now. Master gave us wishes to add more languages in October, and now we have a lot more languages. We want to thank for Master's anticipation, and now we have 8 different languages teams and 15 line groups. And we also have written translation of the program. Let's thank everyone for doing all the multiple language translation for us. And some volunteers translate more than one languages. This is from India, and they want to add the Tamil language. This is one of the language in India. I was so grateful when I received this file. We want to thank all the volunteers from Malaysia to do the Tamil language interpretation in India. Good luck comes one after another. We don't ask why, we just ask how. Because why is the same sound as bad in Chinese. That's why we don't want to ask why, we just ask how. Because how means great in Chinese. How means wonderful, great. Just like when Master says increase a language on October 23rd, I started sending messages to volunteers and recruited volunteers to do more languages. In 1 month, more than 100 people volunteered. So we're very grateful for all these people. Multiple languages gave us wonderful conditions to train everyone, and also give us training to speak, practice, write at the same time. Today, we have English interpretation team from the US, the second team. We thank Jack, Liang, Victor, Andrew, Betty, Aichu, and Reagan. We also have the Japanese interpretation team from Kaohsiung, Meiyu, Tian Zhongya Yi, San Tian, and we also have the Cantonese interpretation team. Thanks to all these volunteers. They are from Malaysia and different areas. Like the first two volunteers, they did Malaysia, English, and Cantonese interpretation. We're very grateful to them. Even though they are very busy in Malaysia, they are still helping us. And these are the Japanese interpreters' feedback. She was really happy to get involved. Even though she translated before, she used to translate with written language. Now, she started the interpretation orally, and she learned that we don't need to be so great to start, but once we start, we can be very good. She's a volunteer. And see, if this is a great way to invite volunteers to join Tzu Chi, to join the interpretation team. Here is Brother Liang from the US. Brother Liang joined the English interpretation. Now we have so many classmates of the online book club all over the world. And we have a reunion of the online book club. Oh, we're going to have a reunion pretty soon. Please, everyone, come to join us. Brother Leon felt that even though his English interpretation is not the best, he worries about it, but after doing it, he felt a lot more comfortable. And he divided the 3-hour program into little sections and forward these sections to his family and friends so they can appreciate, enjoy the online book club. Online book study, I mean. We just walk step by step forward. So please share the link with your family and friends. Invite more people to the online book study. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, please also leave us comments. And yeah, today is the first time we have Chinese broadcasting on both YouTube and Facebook. We want to thank Brother Liang for the feedback. December 29th, Master will be here. And we have all these speakers, Brother Zhou Huang and the Sister Lin, Yu, and vice CEOs from the Jingsi abode. They will all be here. Yeah, please come to be here on December 29th. You will see a wonderful program. And that day, many interpretation teams will be here to translate for you. Today, we have the written translation team for Thai language. Wow, we have 19 people in the written translation team for Thai. Let's applaud to this written team, written interpretation team, the teachers and students from Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School to join us. Now we also have Arabian language written translation by Brother Chou Hua and Sister Lu Qing in Jordan. This is the team of Cambodia written translation team of 5 people, and Malaysia written translation team from the US and from Malaysia and from Australia. Here's the written translation team for Malay and Indonesia oral translation team here of 4 people. 4 people in Indonesia are going to do Indonesia language translation orally. They will focus on master's teaching. They are also translating the Jingsi aphorism into Indonesian language. Originally, Brother Wenhan planned to do something in 2 days, but he finished it in 2 hours. Let's applaud for Brother Wenhan. Okay, now we're going to talk about the feedback from last week. We received 139 comments. Brother John covered all kinds of difficulties. Even though the Facebook had some problem, we were able to overcome the problems. And from this, we got to push out to start the YouTube production early. These are feedback about speakers from England, Wang Suzhen last week. Okay.
我刚 offline。
Okay. We are very grateful for these. These are wonderful comments about Sister Xie Yu, leading us to study Master's footprints. And Sister Xie Yu talked about the disaster relief effort in Japan. Yeah, there is a wonderful condition, karma. And I will tell you the details later. Because this sister was doing the fundraising on the street, and she was able to see herself on the screen. Do you remember that week? Master's footprint, the program on Daai TV last week. Last week, Master talked about the Chiang Mai school in Thailand. Isn't that a coincidence? Right after Master talked about the Qingmai school, and our program was talking about the same school. What a coincidence. Because of the power of love, we're able to touch so many people all over the world. Canada, Bella says, and we also want to thank all these participants who gave us wonderful feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Here is Yi Dawei from Chongqing and made a point. We talk about all the speakers and how they spread the energy to all people. And these are positive feedbacks about Sister Qiu Yu. She did a lot for our team. And the sister from Canada praised Sister Qiu Yu. And say volunteers of Tzu Chi are just like fire bugs all over the world to brighten the world. And these are feedback from China and Changchun. And thank you, Guanjian from Heihe and Liu Chunzhi from Changchun. These are praises about Director Zheng Yizhe from Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. He gave us a lot of energy. He walked out of the hospital to visit patients out in the world. And these are comments about the entrepreneurs. And more thanks for comments from Canada, America, Malaysia. Even though you may not be used to do it, please send us comments to encourage us and keep this going. And these are positive feedbacks from other countries and areas. From China, more. Let's applaud for their comments. We also want to thank Wang Gang in Shenyang. And we also want to thank Sister Shi Jing for transfer these comments to us. These are feedback in English. And because of the English interpretation team, we are able to touch people who speak English only. Somehow, I was touched by the sentence, if tomorrow comes, really so much truth to reflect on. It's easy to say impermanence till one really experiences one's loved family members' impermanence. That will put one to test. You can really accept knowing and able to do are two different things. Wishing all happy and peace and safe. 感恩。Yeah. That's referring to Xie Yanping sister. Yeah. When impermanence happened to us, it's different from when you hear about it happened to someone else. These are comments from YouTube. I'm also promoting veggie bento every Saturday. I like to listen to Sister Chu and Brother Leon's sharing on vegetarian in their restaurant. I'm also promoting veggie bento every Saturday. Happy to learn about the packaging and experience. Yeah, because this couple promote vegetarian food and doing vegetarian bento every Saturday. We also want to thank Sister Ran Shiying for doing all these cartoon summary of what happened that week. Now we're going to start the call out.
感应式体温机减少人力，也加快民众防疫速度。汇聚爱心，这场岁末祝福
Brother Victor，
感恩大家在2020年对柬埔寨慈济的支持。我们这一次在马德旺也发放了2万。
Victor 师兄，
有很多虽然你们
Hello，
没有参加，可是你们的善款，我们都帮你们捐到马德旺，帮助那些需要帮助的人。我们都帮你们捐到马德旺，帮助那些需要帮助的人。
好，非常感恩哦！就透过一个影像画面，我们知道今天其实要到柬埔寨，人
So we're going to
但是
Cambodia.
的心是非常的坚定哦，所以我们非常感恩他们，因为这样的一个因缘呢，
Really
我们连
appreciate
线在一
because
起，
of
所以现在是我们的口译对，
this
同
chance.
时也是比喻团队，所以在这个当下里面，你看，在因为疫情的一个关系，所以呢，大家用
In the meantime, because of pandemic,
跟上人来直接做连线的一个报告哈，所以我们这边可以看到的是，我们来，所以
既在柬国付出很多，水灾的时候发放大米、其物
so
资、
during the flood
地震，
disaster,
还有帮忙培训医疗人员。
we
在
distributed
此次
food
疫情严峻的时候，
and we
及
provide
时的援助他们
medical
PPE
training.
给医护人员。
印度疫情，好，真的非常的感恩哦。其实
So we
无论在哪
really
里，
appreciate
的
that.
爱一直都在哈。那这样的一份爱，我们在做的时候，别人
This kind of love when we're
有感
doing
的
it.
时候，他们就会发生。所以呢，在这个时候，这个时间点上，每一个地方呢，也许因缘不一样，但是你有没有发现做法都会有样学样，就会学出好
Every
法。
place is
好，是
a little different.
然后看看。好，我们受到这样的肯定哦，就其实他们的长官也来在这边，然后跟我们直接的。
我们不止要勤洗手，要戴口罩，在饮食方面，我们更要注意多吃青菜，少杀生。
好，直接不但发放的同时，也是给予怎么样？直接要点，我们就是要推数。好，刚才就看到我们的负责人，可是其实他重要的那个推手叫做他们家师姐哈，所以在这个当下里面，我们也来看一下师姐在这个部分呢展现的一个能量哈，是非常非常棒的哈。
水啦，还有一些那个食粮等等而已。那他们现在紧急需要的就是防护物资、口罩之类。
They needed urgently all the relieving masks.
是这么样的精进的在柬埔寨哈。那我要跟大家讲，就是其实我跟他们之间的一个连结，当上人4合1的时候，就是直接就抽到了柬埔寨。柬埔寨呢，就是负责人代表就分享，那他就发了一个愿，他们一定要在柬国里面去菩萨招生。于是乎呢，我就打电话给他，我说，哎。 你发这个好愿，我想跟你合作一下，你要不要
So the people responsible for the Cambodia.
马上就说好，好了以后我说，哎，那我们可以从2022
年开始。结果他说 they promised to join the instant translation team, so they can start right away. I check, is it real? Sure.
美玲啊，无论是川渝也好啊，或者是小童也好，他们都很厉害的，很厉害的。所以就是因为这样，那这一次不是语义的这个部分吗
？Brother G said, "Why don't you check with Meiling?"
美玲出现一下哈，因为刚才3个音里面都没有他。
So we're going to see Meiling on the screen.
就上线大家讨论，他们两个也有在线上。我也是整个讨论完以后，我的头脑又处在一个状况，就说，我们可能要铺陈，然后开始招生，然后什么时候再开始运作。
After discussion,
2022年才开始运作，又是这个人。
I would like to start planning how to start step by step.
现在就可以做啊。
So Brother Xie Mingxun said, why wait till next year? We can do it right now. So this is so there's always something to help. So I just listen to their plan. So after the meeting, I prepare all the plan till 2 a.m. So Meiling do her part. So we have 15 language, 148 translation team.
Hello， 嗨，隆重登场，请说。
师父，各位全球线上读书会的家人，大家好。今天我们要分享的是有愿就有力啊，你有力就可以完成不可能。
So today,
等一下我们美玲师姐会
we're going to share this mission impossible. Sister Meiling will tell us about how do we do the food distribution. Good morning. Appreciate we have the chance to present. Every time we just grab our chance. So after 1 year, we got a chance to share with everybody. It's a very simple presentation. We need to grab the at the beginning of last year, 2020, the pandemic started from May to September. There came the drought. Since September 1, 2020, Cambodia has experienced heavy rainfall across much of the country. At the beginning of last year, we visited the village for the drought. First, flood disaster investigation. We have limited volunteers. You can see if the people are not familiar with Tzu Chi, we don't necessarily have a chance. I really appreciate the cause and effect. A lot of impossible thing, we still can make it. If we do not stop from the first step, we cannot see the result. So we keep on communicating with the authority. So we keep on communicating with the Aban province. So in 1994, we have disaster relief. That's 25 years ago. So went back to Aban province Like Master Chen Yan said, we always use the good things, so we should give the good thing to the people who need help. So the water can reach the waste. So after we did the disaster investigation, we keep on communication with the headquarters of Tzu Chi. So we arrange the food and all the material we need. And so we keep on communicating with the local government and to find out what they need, what their damages are, and how many people affected. And we have to understand where to get all the material like rice, cooking oil. So we took the chance, we set up a temporary contact point and the office so we can communicate with all the volunteer and the local government, the volunteer from Battambang province. Always share our thought with the local people and with the old. So we go to visit the site of the distribution. We have to confirm all the material we need, keep on communicating, make sure everything will arrive on time. So just a few ants, we can do so many things. Like we only have 14 volunteers, we have to distribute to 30,000 households within 1 week. So we still have designed the flow line. Even if we don't have enough people, we still have to leverage whatever help we can get. So we do love spread and also so work very hard to prepare all the distribution documentation. Till 2 a.m. in the morning before the distribution. They want to make sure whoever affected in this flood disaster will get their share of material like rice, cooking oil. At the beginning, the chief of Aban province said, "Can you do that in 1 week for distribution food to 30,000 people?" Because we have a lot of distribution experience in the last few years, so we can accomplish that. And we have a meeting right before the distribution, make sure every volunteer knows what to do. So we got a volunteer from Singapore. So we have planning the motorcycle flow line, the tractor flow line, walk flow line, so that everyone can get their food for 30,000 households within 1 week. So we can finish the distribution very efficiently and fast. In the meantime, we also tell them the bamboo bank story, and we raise fund, raise their loving heart to donate money in the bamboo bank. So we really appreciate all the local residents, even they suffer the flood disaster, but they still willing to help each other. So really, we appreciate our volunteer for their devotion. We only have 14 volunteers to cover several counties with 30,000 people to receive the food. And we also have some so all the volunteer, I really appreciate their effort and their dedication, their devotion. And the headquarters, we always get help from the headquarters. Make sure, and you must have enough sleep. And we also got the herb from Tzu Chi. So we really appreciate that. So I really appreciate the chance that we have another chance to share more next time. We appreciate we have time. So we have really appreciate. Only 14 volunteers who can distribute to more than 20,000 households. Every time we have more volunteers locally in Taiwan. So it's really difficult for them to do this kind of distribution. So already have scheduled 2022 for the visit, for the So talking about same day, but it's next year. It's not this year. Today is November. So Sister Chou Yu is already in Taoyuan. Oh, are you on the way to visit the patient on the way? So he responds in a verse.
感恩加拿大的管心玲师姐，你说品树会工商业遍地开花。会命长，台南的基友，谢谢静慧也好像在台南，新北市的绿玉。好，
My name is Leah. I'll be translating for you for the next session.
谢谢你说 Good morning, brothers and sisters。他即使问候，我们也觉得很开心。马来西亚槟城的词主，
So here are some feedback from online.
谢谢你一边画画一边给我们回应。俏荣，谢谢你的，谢谢。好，在这边是马来西亚巴州印巴士的春子师姐也跟大家问候哈。所以呢，文清还有
some feedback from Malaysia as well.
泰米尔 language joined us， 谢谢，对，就是我们的印度的泰米尔这个部分。泰国的警署说，感恩雅纯师姐带领清迈学校老师团队大力助援，非常非常感恩。慧宇在主场，谢谢。好，我们的英国的
from Thailand.
我们给英国的素贞师姐掌声哈，她同时间跟我们这样上线哈。好，其他的人，请你们把你们在哪里告诉我们。
So from England as well.
北加州 Linda Payne， 你每一次 is watching with you， 让我们非常非常。
Please do mention where you are in the comment.
要维持最佳的网络状况，所以你在哪里？帮我们按赞、转分享。今天是双直播平台，中文、华语双直播。同步在我们慈济高雄还有的 YT 平台来做联播。好，现在我们看一下木星木爱新年万蕊的简报。我们一定在想，今天第几周？我们现在木星木爱累积到哪里？从我们
We have bilingual translating today.
我们主场的家人把大爱感恩科技最新
的 Remember this is our program to promote kindness. And for each lotus, it will be presenting around 10,000 Taiwan dollar, which is about 300, 400 US dollars. And so far, we raised almost 38,000 lotus and times 400 US dollar. That's how much we have raised. Yeah, we are almost 38,000 lotus now. This is 39 weeks. We started this love raising program. So this is a kind of hand lotion which can actually cure germs.
觉得好吗？如果好，我们用掌声一下，好不好？好，第一个好就是这个了。第二个好在哪里？我们把爱心也做起来，连接。
So it's a new product from our dye technology.
喜憨儿他们做什么？他们就是前面这个贴纸跟后面这个贴纸都是他们贴的。好，所以大家拿到以后就觉得，哦，这个贴纸是喜憨儿他们贴的，哎，他们还贴的蛮公平。
You know, the label was done by my kids with Down syndrome. So this also has their logo as well. So it's it will be 1,000 Taiwanese dollar for 4 tubes.
下课以后去或什么时候去，把这件事情告诉大家。已经抹上的觉得味道很好，主场的人，请导播我们等一下 take 他们画面。
So this is from our dye technology.
挥你的双手，让大家知道。对，请挥动的手，记爱心，齐心防疫。这一瓶。
It seems like the lotion is actually very smooth and then gentle to your skins. If you get 4, then you will get some discount.
就马上过去。我告诉你们哦，这个你们知道吗？静思本草露。
Oh, this is a new product, which is the herbal tea, but in concentrate.
慈济医院研究8种不同中药材，能增强人体免疫力。
最重要的一环，那就是增加你的抵抗力，让你能够
It will increase your boost your immunization.
内服的本草饮发现只有集中在肠胃道有明显提升抵抗力，进一步改良出外用的静思本草滴露和
So with the concentrate, you can very easily get a drink from a few drops.
两边的免疫系统同时被激发，对，达到1+1大2的效果。对抗多变难缠的病毒，提升人体不同部位的保护力，才能保障自身健康。大爱新闻何海叶玲台报道。
好，所以让这件好让大家知道哈。所以呢，今天的话就可以开始把这个好讯息出去的。所以我们何宗荣副院长在近日12月6号有没有？他就是去分享，所以我就跟他说：“你赶快简报给我，简报给我哈。”所以今天我们会把
So the product is now ready on the market.
那我本身在上个星期我就请购了，我真的很乖哦。因为我每一次为了要推荐，我都自己亲自先试。
So we just announced this product.
这个部分我当然不知道它的效果如何，为什么？最好我们都健康，所以不要去问我效果如何，我不能去回答那个部分。但是我觉得用起来的感觉叫做真好，就是你可以用滴露这样的一个方式，然后去感觉一下你的口腔啊，整个就真的很好。可是呢
Yeah, I like it. I tested and then I like this new product.
所以我们把这个让大家知道，无论您在哪里，记得这是我们林碧玉副总写的，静思有3宝：沉滴本草露、日品本草饮、随时滚珠露，3段秦皇赋，日日安康宝。所以要健康的人可以静思3宝，所以谢谢哈，所以非常的感恩。那在这个地方里面呢，我们要来看看就是。
So this can be used together with the herbal tea.
一则就是刚才这位医王他说，他为了来上线才开始熟悉我们这个平台，一熟悉的时候就觉得说，哇，我们这个其实可以跟上时代很多的一个地方，所以请大家可以看他所写的一个部分哈。然后他开始觉得说，半年当他收到他的文宣简报的时候，他觉得非常压抑，可以做到这么精致这么精美。可是接着下去以后，他收到一个讯息，快来的时候是说，哎，你要。
So Dr. Ija is a speaker from last time.
活动才会这样要求讲师，可是来了以后，他真的是大开眼界，然后脑洞大开，就觉得哇，怎么可以做到这样？那同时间呢，他写了非常非常多。第一个时间那一个晚上，他就在他的脸书来做一个分享了，所以呢，他来现场看到
when he was with us last time, he was kind of surprised. The scale is much larger than he expected.
学艺的一个导读里面，阿贵把那个围巾也让他去想起，他到梨山2012年开始，他在梨山完成，一直到现在，你看多长的路途，他一直坚持的。所以真正的慈悲不是付出多少，而是付出坚持。他现在跟团队依然是这样子坚持哦。那在这样的一个状况之下，他有一次去的时候，跟一个阿伯啊，他在做处理的时候，他只关心他的一个膝盖，可是这时候副院长夫人燕师姐已经把他的围巾亲自套在那个阿伯的老农夫的身上，所以这时候
He's also one of our Chinese doctor in our Taichung hospital.
他才看到一个画面，讲一句话，他的眼泪就已经泛泪光了哈，所以是一个很帅气又很暖男的。Hello， 一哲，你在路上现在有听到我这样赞叹你吗？这样可以吗？这样可以吗？好，所以非常的感恩。所以我们其实是一个互动哈。我们英国的素贞我一定要讲他，虽然时间有一点超过，还讲挖掘功夫找人才。
The doctor is very soft. Yeah, was that touched a few times.
他说在那边他做了4-5年，其实也带不出一个成果，大家其实都很客气。可是自从我加入了他们欧洲的一个团队，他发现
This is a sister Susan from England.
云端的时候，竟然可以那么多人一起来共救，越来越多人想要去把人文真善美简报这个部分去做好，所以他就觉得非常佩服我们这个平台，好像就是一个化成，把很多的人呢来加入，然后人才就一直培养出来，也可以落实当区。所以我们这里有3位英国的 的，包括意大利的文编都成为他们的人文真善美，所以他就觉得哇，太感动了哈。那日本的浸会真的非常感动，日本上一个礼拜是2个人，他们同步写燕芬跟他
they're taking care of the journaling of the Tzu Chi events.
冰雪玉师姐的一个导读。画面上出现那个张军师姐，就是唯一当时在东北他们那个地方发生事情的时候，唯一一位的委员，而他的女儿在那一次海啸也是往生，所以因为出现他们赶快把简报什么跟这个人联系上，所以希望能带给他一个温暖的一个同时，也希望他能够有因缘跟我们走得越来越近。所以日本东北乡亲你好吗？
Sister Meiling is talking about our Japanese sister.
所以他有因缘去加入协助，所以他有很多的感触。所以有一段时间他们不是唱那个爱与关怀有日语版的，他说有一段时间他都没办法唱，因为只要唱到那一首歌，很多的思想起，那很多人都会泪流满面。所以非常感恩静慧师姐用这样的方式帮我们去做这样的一个记录那非常，那大家看到了。
Yeah, and actually she lost her daughter in the tsunami. Yeah, in 2013, I think. There are a few more than to be shared, but we are out of time. Okay, next we'll be sharing about the master's journal. The journal actually is kind of Master Chen Yan's diary.
敬爱的圣人，金色师父，全球所有的师兄师姐，大家早安。我是来自台南安邦，我叫
This is Sister Zhuang Xue. Good morning, everyone. In Taiwan, I'm coming from Tainan.
我们都知道，我们全球慈济人都在走入人群，然后付出。
The theme here today is express gratitude from our heart.
感恩有这样的一个机会，我们时时刻刻把感恩呢，成为我们内心真正的语言。好，那上面一直写着说，我们现在全球新冠状肺炎是。
In the diary, Sangren says people who can give are blessed, and people who live peacefully are also blessed. Yeah. And we are all to be grateful. And it must urge us not to hurt others due to our desire. Human beings kill so many animals daily just for our taste. And COVID-19 is a big fight back from nature. Climate change is also threatening the human race. It's time for human beings to wake up. Human beings and animals should have respected each other's life, and human beings should be more content and grateful for what we have. So being vegetarian not only protects animals, but also human beings from the various disasters. And Master mentioned that human beings give rise to desire and then create bad karma when interacting with the world. So how do we avoid that? Shanren told us that we need to hold on to wisdom, to guard our mind, so we can do good while avoiding the wrong. So Buddhism emphasizes wisdom cultivation. We want to be mindful and reflect on our daily life, so we can care for the world. Being vegetarian is a kind act towards animals, which demonstrates that we are true human beings. So we need to reflect on our life, our daily livings, and being very mindful.
那我们如何成为名副其实的万物之灵呢？就是要怎样放过小动物。放过小动物是什么？是吃素。那我们看下面的小鸡流着眼泪，小猪很无奈。
So we want to be kind for small animals. You see the chick, you see the piglet. They are all afraid of death. So why do you want to eat me? So let's be kind to them. So not only that we care for them, we want to promote vegetarianism so more people can join us to protect the animals. Every Buddha will speak on Lotus Sutra, which reveals the ultimate kindness to all living beings. Buddha's love never fades. And Buddha's teaching is always around us, just like Buddha's nature is always with us. So do we actually reflect on our daily life? So with a sincere heart and always being mindful with our thoughts, we shall get closer to our Buddha nature and the great joy as if Buddha stands by us. Yeah, that's because that we have very pure mind. And talk about the faith, vow, and actions. Shangren praised a lot of the Indonesian entrepreneurs and the Tzu Chi people, volunteers. During the COVID, they helped a lot of needy families. And they also established the first overseas Tzu Chi hospital. Yeah, let's see this footage. This is the first Tzu Chi hospital in Jakarta, which was opened in June. And this is the Minister of Indonesian Health Department, Mr. Budi, came to visit the new hospitals there. And Mr. Budi says that I'm glad to see hospitals established by non-profits, providing more medical resources to people nearby. And he was impressed with the high-end medical equipment, which will be beneficial to severely ill people. And this is the director of the Tzu Chi hospitals, board members, J.C. Huang. He said that our hospital is not for profit. The equipment we acquire are for better care of our patients. And Budi, the minister, was saying that besides advanced equipment, the hospital will also have many volunteers, like the hospital in Taiwan. They will bring a bridge among the patients, their families, and the medical staff. Yeah, we look forward to a Tzu Chi hospital with her humanity values being rooted in a Muslim country. Yeah, this is a milestone. Yeah, so Mr. Budi said that he really recognized that the importance of the Tzu Chi's humanity value. Yeah, no wonder Shangren is praised them so much.
那现在我们看太虚大师这个人生佛教，印顺导师的太虚大师人生，然后印顺导师是人间佛教。那太虚大师
Yeah, Master Chen Yan said, I'm very touched after seeing the Indonesian hospital being opened and start running. My life is so worthwhile. It's all because of everybody's dedication for people in need beyond the country borders. Buddha's teaching is now live, living around the world. Yeah, so Shangren was so happy, so joyful, seeing that the Tzu Chi volunteer has done around the world. Now let's see our volunteers in Africa. The Tzu Chi African volunteer, though poor, they are rich in kindness, with Dharma in their hearts. They overcome their illness to help the needy families. Master said that they are the black pearl to me. They are so close to my heart. Their resolution to spread Tzu Chi's love to neighboring country is also beyond my imagination. They spread the Tzu Chi's love. And Sister Lu Wei was so sick that she could not even lift her leg to get in the car. However, she was still insisting visiting the needy families. They are continue doing Tzu Chi even until the very last day. Very last day of her life. Yeah, this is Sister Zhu Wei. Yeah, she exercised all her energy. Yeah, this is something that a good model for all of us. Sister Lu Wei is 84 years old, still so energetic. I told Sister Zhuang Xue, who just shared, saying that because now we need to also have a written translation for everyone. That's an idea from our Shangren about that. In addition to the interpretation online, we also want to have some written content so people can read or can enjoy offline, right? And so now we need actually not just the speech, but also their written articles.
有任务就会极尽所能达成使命哈。我们在加拿大的管线林师姐，因为有慈济，我们才能将散布在海角天涯的珍珠串联在一起。因为有高雄线上读书会。
Yeah, so a few more feedbacks from online.
一步一脚印，共行菩萨道。感恩谢师兄跟美玲师姐的一个分享哈。那同时间，我们的 TC Meiling，其实你是哪边的家人？你可以跟我们讲一下吗
？Yeah, I was talking about the Cambodian sharing earlier. It's very touching.
我们 for NASA firm， 你说真的要把握因缘，每一次出席能看到不同生活的一个困苦。
They have only 4 volunteers, and they can still achieve so much.
走菩萨的路，从见苦知福，从小爱变成大爱的心法去关怀众生。
Yeah, every time the program is so rich that we get to see a lot of good effort around the world.
运用有限的人力，发挥大大的力量，借力使力，难行能行，完成数万人的发放，真是不可思议！感恩明勋师兄及美玲师姐的大菩萨大愿力带动哈，所以谢谢慈济高雄也发出声音哈。
Yeah, that's really amazing. They can serve tens of thousands of families with just 14 volunteers.
要赶快把我们的分享者这个部分你的感动，直接爱在心里口要开，表情答疑说明白来告诉大家哈。那现在还是要跟大家再一次的强调，我们29号因为上人随师的一个因缘，所以呢。
So please share with your friend your joy in attending the program here. Wow. Now we have some great speaker on the 29th of December.
你不需要很厉害才能开始，但你需要开始才会很厉害。那一天呢，就有一个家人跟我讲说：“哇，我们没办法了，我们在这个地方没有像你们这么多呢。”
You don't have to be perfect to get started, but when you get started, then you become perfect.
现在还慢慢在会中了哈，所以我们给我们的技术团队，包括1楼、2楼后面的团队热烈掌声，感恩哈。好，所以相信自己一定可以全力以赴缔造佳绩。那我们要看一下我们美国的顺口溜团队有这5位。
Okay, let's give a big applause for the supporting team.
蓄势待发，会再加入人哦，所以我们期待。那今天要看到的美国的顺口溜团队是由我们秀玲师姐。
And this is the abstract team.
先生回到台湾，所以他跟着回来以后呢，他就觉得
Sister Xiaoling from Boston.
每一次回来之后，然后他们每一次都讲得非常的开心，他就觉得很奇怪，为什么会有一个读书会让大家每次一直谈得很开心，所以他就好奇了哈，所以他就去做连线。那时候没办法像现在直播在自己的家里连线，全部到各个地点去，还是真的很不容易的哈。那接下来2015年我去到美国的时候，到华府去，那到华盛顿华府去的时候，就跟他们做了连结。之后华府呢也跟我们做一个连线哈。
So since 2014, she joined this program and she loved it.
过的路全部要去做记录哈。我想今天对阿板来讲，或者是骆崇梅老师、人文真善美的这一位师兄师姐，都非常的知道，这所有都要去记录哈。那我们非常感恩，在上个星期的时候，我们的美边善效应，也就是泰国的秋玉师姐就跟我们讲，到目前我们累积的一个善效应的美边，从最早这个其实是惠瑜的，惠瑜今天会跟大家见面，惠瑜做的，然后之后现在呢由我们的泰国的美边来接棒，2位接下来总共我们。
So every time we actually for a longer feedback like the one pager here, we actually design the graphics around it and then preserve the copy. So you're welcome to share your thoughts in English. It's fine as well. And this is the verses from their abstract.
好，这个是吉林长春的春之师姐，她说英国师姐王素贞步步踏实，菩萨行环保
This is some highlights from last broadcast.
地震全球慈济救苦难，地涌菩萨传法随。台北师姐季雅莹起对念头好选择，新好老板荤转述，曼宁永福美名扬。泰国师姐彭秋玉勇于承担做美编，发挥微光展良人，全球传播善效应。大庆师姐张学平帮助。
It's kind of fast because this is kind of like a verse, so it's hard to quickly translate for all of you. But mostly that you'll probably get the same feeling if you watched the recording from last time.
携手植树护大地，和护协会开发。那接下来我要邀约大家哦，美国的顺口溜团队他们要做2件事，对不对？一件事叫做写顺口溜。
So there are a lot of programs each time.
英文重点摘要，我们会传到1个 Telegram、7个微信、18个 Line， 超过9000人可以在群组里触及的，所以请大家加入我们线上读书会的群组，我们会给大家呢，就是讲师讲完了，这个简报就出去。
So you can also receive the English translation of this abstract verses. So if you are interested, you can somehow let us know, and then we can email or send out through some kind of media.
全球启动木爱心，长情大爱永长存。北区永董季雅莹，人生分秒做选择，跟随上人做就对，菩萨道侣勤精进。曼宁永福混转述，如数为母来植福。素食餐厅断2元，疫情捐赠素餐盒，感恩前线紧医护，坚定退速更加速。泰国曼谷彭秋玉，美编。
These are all stories from last time.
照亮生命灰金沟，大陆黑龙江何雪萍，大庆自贡爱接力，翻转生命张雪峰，拔苦娱乐慈济行，台中医院郑怡哲，中医走入社区化，居家医疗。
This we have some sharing from China as well, and this is about a doctor from our Tzu Chi Taichung Hospital.
给我们所有的顺口溜团队一次爱的鼓励，预备来。顺口溜团队，你们好棒！好，那接下来呢，我们看一下哈。
Let's give them a big applause.
对组合情跟福田，一个人很重要，但是团队展现的能量是不得了的。大家看一下这个文宣美编呢，这个文字既然是他们是人文真善美，所以。
All right, for our next session, we have actually a team of speakers. If you take a look at what we have on screen right here. The team coming here today is from the documentation team.
高雄的陈家志师兄非常的感恩哈。那我们来看看，其实啊，老师有没有来过？来过3回合。好，所以今天是第3次哈。第一次带着人文真善美来，第2次呢是因为他的戏纯美时光而来。
So the first of our speakers is Sister Luo Chunmei. Has she been here before? She has been. Actually, I think it's her 3rd time, I believe. And so you can see on screen some of the earlier times that she's joined our book study.
那你看看，在这样的一个纯美时光的时候，我们可以看到这样的一个能量的展现，所以非常感恩大爱剧场。我们大爱剧场即将在什么时候来？即将在12月29号，也就是上人来的时候，我们最后一天，我们最新的大爱剧场一路芬芳也会来。所以现在我们的纯美时光的我们的本尊，也就是骆春梅老师，他其实今天来是算第3次哈，所以非常的感恩。所以那一次的话，有演员何爱云也来到了现场，跟我们一起。
So it sounds like Sister Chunmei actually has a .I television series that was created based on her story. So feel free to tune in if you are able to do so.
大家在最近的时候，其实我看到人文真善美这个部分，那人文真善美这个部分帮我们做了很多的一个记录。
Let's take a look at what Dharma Master Zeng Yin says about Sister Chunmei, and other members of the documentation team.
整个文史记录是点线面的部分，而且人人都是真善美志工，人人可见证，这就是真宝贵、很宝贵的史。你们真的是才女。
有没有听到上人说他们是什么才女
Master Seng Yin is sharing here that everyone can see that everything that the documentation team is doing is leaving behind very, very important history for Tzu Chi. So each one of you are such talented and skilled individuals.
大家可以看到，就因为人文真善美的一个关系哈，所以
地球一起呼吸。那另外一个副主视觉的话就是海洋，那海洋讲的就是污染，让大家有一个愿景，就其实地球是应该这么美的。
So here, Sister Yang Changhua, who's also one of our speakers today, is sharing actually about the exhibition that their team is going to share about in the upcoming session.
所以真的才华洋溢，各有本事。我们等一下就瞪大眼睛来看哈。那其实，在这个与地球呼吸的时候，并不是。
So each of our 4 speakers today really have such a talented set of skills. So we'll have a chance to see and hear a little bit about that today. And if you see on the video here, they're setting up an outdoor event to be able to reach even more people. So let's take a look at the scene of them setting up the outdoor event. Volunteers are talking about how this event is about environmental protection, and they themselves reused a lot of materials from prior events as well. So they themselves were making sure that in setting up the event, they were also protecting the environment. So right here, you'll see actually the Taipei mayor, Ko Wen-ze, testing some of our environmentally friendly products. So the head of the education department of Taipei here is sharing that this event uses games that are both educational and fun to teach others about environmental protection.
我们刚才看到的2位主角的话，其实还有2位哈，但是庭君很抱歉，老师一直没有办法找到你的影片。在这一个地方里面，我们可以看到就是宇宙星空的。
So aside from the 2 speakers you've already seen here, there are 2 other speakers as well. One of them I couldn't find any videos or content for. But here we see our 3rd speaker, Sister Yang Huizi. She's sharing here how, as part of the event, they wanted to prepare kind of a larger sized Earth, or like you can kind of see the globe in the background, right? So they wanted to create this model of planet Earth. And they had to go through quite a process to do that, finding an artist in Taichung and then bringing it back to Taipei, etc. So today, let's welcome our 4 speakers, our very, very talented and skilled speakers. Let's welcome them to the stage.
所以我永远记得这个恩情，讲到都很想哭出来。所以就是你就是到了那个地方，然后骆老师他其实就招呼了一些老师来当做我的学生，然后进行这样的一个录影，所以非常非常感恩，所以感恩贵人。
The sister Meiyun is sharing about just a previous connection with Sister Luo Chunmei, the first speaker today, and how she is just someone who has helped Sister Meiyun a lot as well in various occasions. All right, let's welcome our speakers once again. Good morning to everyone. Thank you to Sister Meiyun for inviting our documentation team to come and share with you about this exhibition event. So a lot of documentation, sometimes a lot of what you may understand about the documentation team often is about writing articles or taking photos and videos, etc. But for example, in our exhibitions, we also need to create a lot of, for example, posters or other content materials for those events. So I should briefly introduce the other three speakers as well. All right, so Sister Meiyun asks Sister Luo to, or lets her know that she can take off her mask. And so, all right.
好，然后你有那个因缘看到了这一则，可是怎么样让这一个我们很棒的慈济的历史，还有我们想要传达上的法，可以比较长一点的时间。
So our documentation teams put so much content together, and really keep a record of Tzu Chi's history, but of course, the folks who will get to see this content, you know, it's not always everyone. It may be limited to people who come to events or perhaps see it through the Dai channel, and that is not everyone. So another way to get the messages that Tzu Chi wants to share out with more people is to have events in public, for example, like the exhibition that we held. An example of the places that we've gone for this exhibition were the Banqiao train station, the Da'an Forest Park, the Nangang train station as well, and a very popular Taipei Xingyi district, a plaza over there. You could actually see in the video earlier, the videos earlier talking about the exhibition. Very thankful to the Kaohsiung team for putting together a lot of this content for others to understand what we did in our exhibition. I really want to share that for this exhibition to come to life, it really took so many people working together. Not just the documentation team, setting up a lot of the event, but what was really important was putting together a team to come and share with the public about a lot of the concepts that we're talking about for environmental protection, and to host, for example, the different booths and stations. Now, our exhibition was very, very successful. We have put this exhibition in our Jingsi halls for some time. And, you know, we put them up for a while, but we didn't necessarily have a ton of people come. But with this exhibition, once we put it in very public places, within just a couple of weeks, we had more than 58,000 people join. So the turnout was very, very strong. On average, every day we had 1,600 people that came by and were able to experience the exhibition. So we were very, very happy to see this. Now, of course, the content that we prepare for this event has to be very relatable and something that will really draw the masses in. So today we talk about a lot of social media, you know, how you have to, when you, I forgot how you say this in English, when you indicate that you've been somewhere, so you're like, yeah, okay, we'll skip that. But like pressing like on Facebook or indicating that you've, I don't know, visited a restaurant, for example, right? Things like that. So using methods like these for social media, also connecting with more people. Master often tells us that when people cannot themselves walk out of their situation, then we need to walk into their lives to help them. So in a similar way here, we wanted to reach more people through an exhibition like this, but we also had a school tour after the exhibition. So we went to a total of, I think it was 31 schools. And in this tour across schools and campuses, we were able to have more than 20,000 children participate in our activities. So we actually got a lot of positive feedback and responses from the public, including the Environmental Protection Administration of Taiwan, which they actually invited Tzu Chi to participate in a 10th anniversary event for a set of laws that were implemented to promote educating the public about the environment and about environmental protection. So due to just all of the things that Tzu Chi are doing, we were able to, gain more recognition across different entities and different people, and just share more about Tzu Chi's values and the importance of environmental protection. So I'm going to share a little secret with everyone. At this event with the Environmental Protection Administration, there were a lot of people that came, but where most of the people were gathered, there were so many people focused in the Tzu Chi's exhibition. So the Environmental Protection Administration, they actually gave us a lot of space for the event. There were 100 plus, nearly 200 different entities and organizations that came to participate, but each of them usually only had maybe 2 tables or so to set up their booths, but they gave us a lot of space because they had actually seen our exhibitions and knew that we had a lot of very wonderful content and activities prepared for others to learn and experience what we wanted to share. So next, what I'd like to introduce, you can see on here on screen, right? These beautiful pieces of art set up with the mountains, with the water, with the oceans. This was actually all put together by our illustrator, Sister Tingjun, and she's going to be our next speaker. So let's welcome her to share with us. Thank you so much, Sister Luo. And thank you everyone who's watching and listening today and giving me the opportunity to share. So I'm really grateful I had this opportunity last year with Tzu Chi's 30th anniversary event for environmental protection. I'm grateful that it gave me the opportunity to share such a beautiful and important message through my illustrations. And she's also sharing that she's going to keep her mask on because she has a little bit of a cough today. So these are some of the different illustrations that we put together for the main themes of the exhibition events. For example, this one right here, this main theme was actually focused on more of like a forest theme, if you will. We're using a lot of this art to indicate how a lot of human-related pollution has caused a lot of damage to the environment. So we had very, very abstract concepts that we wanted to share. One was, of course, promoting a plant-based diet, and the other was reducing plastic. So we did a lot of work just thinking about how to best bring out these abstract concepts into illustrations, including even collecting just, surveys from folks, and thinking about, hey, for all of these issues that we have, what are, even thinking about just, for example, issues around why people may have a hard time adopting a vegetarian or a vegan diet, right? We collected a lot of information about why people may struggle, and then thought about very tangible solutions for people to take. And so we were also able to put all of these different solutions into illustration. And so we wanted a lot of people, to go on social media and say that, and indicate that they had joined the exhibition. So you could see these very elaborate exhibits that we put up, even with just these, it was like a very 3D exhibit that we had created with our illustrations, right? And so that was also very popular. So through our exhibition and illustrations, what we wanted to really show was, hey, it's actually, this idea of adopting a plant-based diet actually can be pretty simple too. It's not necessarily as complicated as we thought. I won't feel like. So in this way, creating a lighter message for folks, as opposed to making people feel perhaps incriminated, because instead of sending a message of saying that, hey, you really shouldn't hurt animals and kill animals, instead, if we use a message that is more kind to the individual, and shows them how easy it can be to adopt a plant-based diet, we think that that may be able to have a better impact for some folks as well. So here we see that Dan Forest Park, we actually had a little chalkboard drawing session. And that was another creative way for us to share with a lot of folks all the different things that Tzu Chi does and the messages of environmental protection, including even people who are already Tzu Chi volunteers, who may not have known all the different things that Tzu Chi had been doing. So this was actually, we had collaborated with the Education Department of Taiwan for an event or an initiative that they were promoting for preventing disasters. And these were some of the illustrations that we put together for that collaboration. And we incorporated actually a lot of just different ideas in here. For example, just how Tzu Chi often distributes blankets made out of recycled plastic bottles to folks at disaster relief events. So you could see illustrations of that and such, and other things as well. Now on this slide right here, you see a set of flowers along the bottom, and they may just seem like flowers, but actually with each flower, there was it carried a different message, wishing blessings for others. And here you see a blackboard or a chalkboard art, and on it, there's a message that says, a life of love is one that is truly blessed. Thank you everyone for the opportunity to share.
Thank you. I'm Sister Huizi. Thank you. I will show you the exhibition that we did for the disaster prevention in the early 2021. That our foundation was invited by the Ministry of Education to participate in the campus disaster prevention conference. So after we received the invitation, we discussed. We can see the main vision that is designed by Sister Tingjun. Originally, this should be done in the summer, July, in the summer vacation. But it was because of the pandemic. So it was delayed until September 10th to October 10th. So we know that the best prevention is to protect the earth.
大家本来3天，你想3天在花博的珍宴馆可以容纳多少人？大家想一下，3天。但是线上的展哦，1个月的线上。
But this has become online. So originally, it was only a 3-day on-site exhibition. But this time, we have online. So there are more than 1.2 million people visited our exhibition. So we know that the virtual exhibition has its advantage. In the process, yeah, from the on-site to the online, it was completely different. Every exhibition station, they have to create more games and videos so that when people come to visit online, they can have more interaction. So that they know how to do the disaster prevention. And our exhibition got recognized by the education center of the ministry. Here we can see there are 2 recognitions. Because we get recognition by the Minister of Education. So we were invited to the National Science Education Center also. But it's on-site. They saw our on-site exhibition. So they were so glad that for our September exhibition. They were so happy, so they invite us to do the exhibition for next year. For next year. So we are going to have about 3 months exhibition next year in the National Science Education Center. And this is October that we were invited to Hsinchu Science Fair. The next one is we started from the October. It was in Tainan.
Thailand elementary school, our Tzu Chi elementary school.
反正团队非常开心，然后当然台南职小也非常开心。好，我们本来是
not only our team but also all the school members, included the students, were very happy about this change of exhibition.
就是还是要不要把，其实水土保持只有一个会不会太单调了？所以把环境教育啊
，originally they have soil and the water reservation exhibition. So we try to add more.
这个就是防灾教育馆。
See, there's another one is disaster prevention. And then this is the ocean protection, ocean environmental protection.
大家这么美的环境，大家一起来保护哈。然后还有一个叫做循环经济展，这边
Another one is the circular economy
的那个又展示在这边，还有防灾
exhibition center.
也在这个地方展现，是很美很美。
And everything was so beautiful. That's why all the principal was so happy. And the principal was so happy that to learn about how to do the tour guide. So also he teach all the teachers to do the guide. Next one, we will have a special memorial, actually demo for to commemorate teacher Lai Yunjiu. It's about the firefly restoration. This is exhibited in the Tzu Chi hospital, actually. And actually, Sister Chao Lihua is Sister Lai's wife. So they have a special exhibition about how teacher Lai was restoring the firefly. Because Master Shen Yan always encouraged every of her disciples like a firefly. Even though the light of a firefly is so small, but if we can accumulate more gleaming and goodness of energy, so we still can shine in the dark.
惠智已经介绍了环保30，其实以前我们还有做921的，骆老师都有介绍了。但是我们布置
our exhibition also
在2楼我们有布置环保30的时候呢，我们的10楼
do it in the 10th floor of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital.
师姐哈，她呢也邀请我们团队去在病房中做布置。
The head nurse of this neurological department invited us to do the redecoration of their ward. Originally, the ward of rehabilitation, you can see that the patient is actually facing the wall, and the family member is just silently accompanied there. All the stroke patients actually are of age. So that's why we try to make the decoration into 5 things. It's about the unforgettable memory, including the first one is everything is prosperous in a harmonious family. And it's about the ancient kitchen. That when we were young, we know all the different items in the ancient kitchens.
别看这个图片，你如果可以看这几下哦，这
Can you name all the different things in the ancient kitchen?
这个跟很快你对啊唔对哈就可以啊，这辉哥啊很快我讲对，我讲对，就是要让他们激励他们，可以让他们有这
So
个
they,
互
they,
动。
they make it like a game for them,
干妈
for the
店还有
patient
照
to
相
guess.
馆哈，他们是
And
修隔壁啊，
even there's a grocery store.
都是我们小时候最爱去的那种童
It's a place that when we were young, we liked to go very much.
啊，还有那个
There are so many games or candies, anything.
还有一种是可以抓抓乐的，那个抓进去，其实里面的奖品啊，都是对脑中风病患可以做那个末梢神经的复健。
Yeah, all the games are very
医护人员的思维哈是非常用心
good,
的哈。
very incentive for the patient.
不会再面对那个冷的墙壁做。
So they don't have to face the wall. Now they are facing beautiful old pictures, even including the celebrity, and even can put on his own family pictures to encourage them to do the rehabilitation. You can see that it's so much fun that the old grocery stores. See, you can play the game and jump on the floor.
还可以跳房子，在地上哈都有。我们的医护人员也很开心，他们也
And even our nurses are so happy because they can play too.
后续的还有呢，就是病房中的病患，夫妻两个呢，那我们有做
See the patient and the couple that they can also look at the Jinshi tea store, the store, because Taiwanese people like to drink tea. So we designed a game for them to guess what kind of tea to test their memories. It's very much fun. So the environment we decorated with the Tzu Chi tea garden in Sanyi, Miaoli. So they seems that they are joining into walking into the tea garden.
好，麻烦夫妻两个还可以呢，下午茶在树下呢拍照。
Yeah, and the patient with her spouse, they can walk under a tree of blessings. And that's the way, we try to relieve the suffering from the patient and the family. So I invite everyone to join our documentation team. And this is the blessing tree. We changed the column of the wall into a tree, so they can make a wish and wish for others.
就是真善美，它不只是为时代做见证啊。
The documentation team is not only trying to write down the history, but it's also recording all the goodness and truth and beauty from Tzu Chi's event to show to everyone.
突然间几天内就往生了，突然哦。所以呢，为了要纪念赖老师，那赖老师是台湾的这个
especially for the teacher Lai that he was in such a short time, just a few days of he was found the pancreatic cancer, but he actually devoted his whole life to restore the firefly. So that's why we gave them we gave him this exhibition about how the firefly is restored in the Taiwan history. So now we are showing here is the firefly. We made a firefly actually. because Master encouraged us to be like a firefly, to show your light, to show the light for pointing people's ways on our Bodhisattva path. So this is already the third generation that with the an IC board inside of the firefly. Oh, this is only the first generation, but we have already made it in 3 generations already. It's even better. It's even better. Okay.
华就类不是坐游览车来，所以带来的灰金钩真的是叫有限哈，所以待会的时候我们会处理哦哈，感恩。那其实
So we are going to give away to the people here with this electronic firefly.
就是跟着年轻化了，慈济的是很圆融、很亲近人群的，有心就常常关注慈济，锁住慈济的频道，你就可以常常有。 看到这一些有心人的一个展览哈，我们的马来西亚帮你们画画的美编。
So people are reflecting that, you know, when we do the exhibition, it's actually not an easy job, but it's so beautiful. So if we join more Tzu Chi event, then we can see such a nice things. And this is the reflection from Salon in Malaysia. And Sister Chunmei is actually our model, our role model in the documentation.
请大家继续哦，即便奇怪，慧宇，你今天怎么没有写留言呢？你在主场还是可以写留言，你太闲了吗？
Everybody, can you please feedback? Give us feedback. Today we have both platform in YouTube and Facebook. So please leave your message, your feedback to us. Thank you so much. Thank you, the team of documentation. Thank you. Thank you so much.
我们的当实业家遇到近师，所以呢，
当实业家遇到
近师的时候，展现就是无限的可能的哈。所以在每一次呢，我们的12月份的时候，就请我们的实业家团队呢来这里做分享。所以今天他们将就绿色奇迹来展现能量。
We are going to invite the entrepreneur.
敬爱上人。 线上的实业家。
Okay, here is the next section.
我们是高雄龙洞。
It's about our entrepreneur.
有鉴于2020年的，因为整个
I want to invite our entrepreneurs to the book club and show what they do to the society.
机会还是一些的活动，完全就停止了。那我们在
Dear everybody,
在这个情况之下，我们在宪宗师兄的领导之中。
We are from the Kaohsiung Honorable Board team. In 2020, due to the coronavirus, all lives were changed. Everything, all the activity there stopped due to the pandemic. So senior brother Xian Cong proposed in the meeting, what can we do as a business man? What can we give back to the society? So the decision was made during the meeting. We combined the community visit and volunteers. Decide to provide refurbished computer to the children of low income. So I was asked to be responsible for the coordination. I've had a meeting with our visiting volunteers.
非常感恩那个绿色奇迹的邱勤文董事长。
In just a few months, we were able to donate 115 sets of refurbished desktop computer and laptop, including the Kaohsiung and Pingdong areas.
那6月份呢，到8月份这个时候使用是最殷切的时候，所以呢，在这时间。
We're so blessed for the support and assistance of the Green Miracle CEO, Mr. Chiu, Brother Fu Shen, and Brother Shen He.
还有，我也要感恩我们这些房子的菩萨，真的是菩萨用心呢，然后携子福
In
气。
May of this year, the school was shut down.
我们的这些房子
So started in June.
也非常配合我们在这期间里面。
Almost every day we donate computer to each household that's low income. I want to thank our volunteers who are visiting those households.
贫困的人走不出来，我们有福的人又走进去。当然，常态当中我们常常听就过了，但是我们做了才会感觉真的是这样子。
Some households live in the remote area, and the road is not easy for those volunteers to drive.
在7月份的时候，刚好那个时候恒春那时候爆发的那个
But those volunteers, they are not afraid because when they think about those low-income households who doesn't have the car to get out of the house, instead those volunteers, they go into their house.
所以我也怕说，万一这样的事情造成了我们的志工有了任何的差池，那就非常不好。但是我们志工还是很勇于
In July of this year, the Delta outbreak happened in some of the areas.
那个软墙的奖状，以及那个红色的那个恭贺的布条，那在的显示他们。
I'm also concerned for the volunteers because there's a possibility they may get the coronavirus just by visiting those places.
假如说有能力的话，也可以做好这么件事情。
But they are not afraid. They move forward without fear.
那也谢谢每位师姐跟圣宗师兄跟每位师姐的协助哦。我们的那个
You can see their picture of those kids. They put their awards on the wall at their house. They proudly show those awards and certificates.
减少的200多台的那个山西的废弃物的问题。那我们呼吁我们。
And they completed this mission. And I want to promote using the regenerated computer instead of throwing away. We are giving them a second life. Since July, a total of 204 desktop and laptop computers have been refurbished. This indirectly continued the life of those 204 units and greatly reduces the waste produced these units and contribute to environmental protection.
那这一次非常感恩许师兄的再生电脑的协助，让我所陪伴的个案呢。 孩子们哦，大部分都是新住民的。
I want to send my blessing to all my Tzu Chi family around the world.
这些电脑，他们在这一次的成绩非常
And this is Sister Ling Wanqi. She's a volunteer.
通通都得到成绩优异奖。那很感恩。
My name is Ling Wanqi.
就是更感谢师兄，就是我在社区有得到里长的请托啦。那我在社区有
thank Brother Xie for his assistance.
的一个。
A lot of households I visit, there are new immigrants. They live in the rural areas. And I've been visiting 5 families. All of them receive excellent school awards and scholarships. I started a after school care and guidance class for disadvantaged and new immigrants center in this area. And because of these new immigrants, they may not speak the languages fluently like normal people, so they may not understand what's going on at school. And some of the mother, they cannot communicate with teacher, so it's difficult for children to learn at school and also communicate with their parents. So when I created this center, I encourage all these new immigrants' mother come to the center to learn computer and to also learn Mandarin. This way, their children can come to the center to use computer to search for schoolwork, and their mother can also learn language at these centers.
好的，好的。其实我们可以看到哈，画面上可以看到
Because of these refurbished computers, it helps so many families solve their school problem and also their family problem. I'm very blessed. Are you done? Let's give them a round of applause for all the good work.
然后呢，但是非常安静，然后永远跑到最前的，然后永远给大家支撑，做很多总务事务的事情。我们再给我们的实业家团队热烈的掌声哈！所以在这一波的时候呢，第一个时间他们就是这样的一个展现。那
tell you about the brother Xu Qingson. Really talked about himself. It's very rare to hear him speak in public. He's always quiet, but he does a lot of stuff, just like donating these computer to different households. He bring those refurbished computer and distribute to different households. Here I'm reading some of the comments. There's a comment about one of our speakers earlier who's 84 years old. They want to know her secret, why she stays so young and upbeat.
对不起哈，燕芬师姐，谢谢你。你说庄雪师姐正能量，让人感觉她只有20岁。
Today is the first time that our book club is showing not just on Facebook but also on YouTube.
他是我们的直播团队。他说：“恭喜 YouTube 直播上线，主场团队太强大了，真赞。”好，王刚跟易帅，你们也是真的很赞了哈。
One of the comments I'm receiving now didn't mention where you live, so please don't forget to put down the city that you live so I can mention it here.
说人在台湾同步共修，感动柬埔寨志工14人完成近3万人的发放，完成不可能任务，太不简单，真的非常的感动哈。那
We have a few comments talk about how amazing that they can see our book club on YouTube. They talk about how great our team is.
也非常多的感动。他说，山东威海的王慧说，作为一名学校的老师，我最近也印刷了1000份的环保宣传单，在科学课堂
And
上。
again, we have a comment talk about this Cambodia distribution. 14 volunteers able to distribute to over 30,000 people. That's really amazing.
来当宣讲，让人感觉真的很好哈。那加拿大的蓝比也说，团队这事者永恒，觉得你们整个布展是非常的赞，触动身心与心灵，有幸福的感觉哈。所以非常感恩骆崇美老师带的北区的人文真善美哈。石金说，粉亮的灰金哥。
And this comment is left by a teacher who print out hundreds of flyers, talk about how she educates the student about the environmental protection.
OK 哦，我就直接对他就好了哈。好，重庆的杨和芳说，慈济人用萤火虫的精神，每个微光的汇聚在黑暗的地方发光。好，
Have another comment talk about the firefly story earlier.
各位家好啊，及那个线上的家人们，大家好。来，现在让我们大家一起动一动，请慢慢
Talk about the firefly
来，一样是我们的洗手
lights
歌
we saw earlier. There's 3 generations of different kind of firefly lights. Hopefully, other country can get it too. All right, it's time to get up and exercise. Would you please stand up? And let's move your body with me, please. And this is our washing hands song. I'm sure you're very familiar with this song. So show me your hands.
内外夹攻大力丸，人多时候戴口罩，进入密闭空间也戴口罩，不要用时会折好，乖乖放口袋。
And this is a time where you can get up, move your body, move your arm, move your legs. At the same time, also educate the importance of washing hands, keep a good hygiene habits. So if you're with your family now, let's get them in the room and we'll all do it together.
来，水龙头啊开又关，洗洗双手要擦干，吃东西前勤洗手，回到家也要洗刷刷，眼耳口鼻不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸。
Let's give it a good stretch. We'll do it again. I want to remind you, don't forget to wear a mask when you go into any indoor facilities. They protect you and also protect others.
没关系，我们等老师一下。我们这一首歌呢很轻柔，我们就慢慢的伸展我们的身体，来做一个
Get a good workout.
手延伸。
All right, we'll have another one.
再一个呼吸，慢慢的来调整我们的脚步，来画一个大爱心，手延伸向外向下。
This song has a very beautiful melody. It's also relaxing, where you can stretch your arm.
身体要拉直哦。
Take a deep breath.
来，我们单手往前，慢慢的下来。换手。
Let's draw a heart using your arm.
双手。再一个。
Make sure your body is straight.
侧腰的拉伸，慢慢的拉伸。
You can do it slowly with me.
好，回来，换边。好，回来，这一边。
Do it very slow to stretch your leg and your upper arm. Change side to do the other side.
好，回来。现在呢，要拉一下我们的肩胛骨，来，先伸出我们的手，另外一只手辅助一下。
One more time.
拉一下。好，回来，再换手。让我们的肩胛骨伸展一下。 呼吸，好，换手。 另外一只手帮助他一下。好。
Use your other arm to support.
好，调整我们的呼吸，做一个大伸展。
This will stretch your shoulder arms area.
向下拉一下，展开我们的胸口，呼吸。好，手轻轻的放开。好，我们的肩膀转动一下，放松。
Don't forget to breathe.
开始做我们的大爱心。
Combine breathing with stretch.
手向外向下，慢慢的、轻轻的，在一个拉伸。手要有延伸
Inhale and exhale.
很好，大家做得很棒哦。好，再一个。
Roll your shoulder.
好，来手单手。
Let's draw a big heart.
再一个。双手。好，准备拉伸我们的侧腰，慢慢的、柔柔的伸展一下，停一下哦。好，回来，换边。回来，来再一个，呼吸，伸展一下我们的手，拉一下我们的侧腰。
Do it gently, slowly. This is a good exercise to stretch all the body parts.
好，回来。好，现在呢，拉一下我们的肩胛骨。来，另外一只手辅助它一下。展开我们的背。好，换手。很好哦，大家做得很好哦。好，换手。
We'll do this one more time.
好。
You can do this daily. Your body will appreciate.
另外一只手辅助它一下。好，做一个伸展呼吸。再一个大大的伸展呼吸，很好。吸气，准备收。谢谢大家。好，活动组在这里祝福大家健康活力旺，身体健康上盖赞。请大家慢慢的坐下，谢谢。
好，热烈掌声！每一次这个活动团队，我们一共有20位哈，然后都大家呢不同时间呢棒棒接力。那现在简报上看到的就是我们这样的一个团队。那平常都是雅萍在带动，当他有事的时候呢，团队其实棒棒接力还是可以让我们整场是非常。
We wish everybody
刚才的那一首歌叫《牵手》
healthy and energetic. Now you may sit down.
那时候大家都在追这一档剧。
And this is our activity team.
他这一辈子，可当他用他的身形来感动很多人哈。那所以这首歌之后，我们马上呢就要到大陆去了哈。在大陆这个地方，我们看到，谢谢赖玲师姐，谢谢您在重庆上一次。
One of the members is out today, but we have other sister take care rest of the exercise. And the song they're singing, the very emotional song based on a true story.
让这个爱去延续下去，而因为我们提到谢艳
Here's some feedback
所以你就讲到说
from the book club last week. This is from our China family.
大家走出很多人的低谷哈。那秋玉师姐这边呢，从推树一直到每边的一个善效应哈，包括正医者中医师里面呢，他其实用这样来弘扬我们的慈济的中医的一个传统，还有包括呢带给人家一个真知正见正能量，都觉得非常的一个棒哈。那在这里，重庆的何方，刚才你也留言了哈，那你说正确的一个选择，最主要你是针对呢有关于季雅莹师姐，她去讲到了人生。从一开始一早起来就有很多很多的一个选择，而在选择的一个能量里面呢，去展现更多的一个。为什么你们是
The feedback talk about the
现在是大陆
one of the sister, even her life is short, but it's like a firefly.
所以看到这边，我们看到的是杨何芳哈。所以何芳在这一个地方里面，我们可以去看到这一部分的，他把季阳营的一个师姐呢，就是去展现，所以他非常详细的一个记录，表示呢，何芳师兄您真的非常用心哈。那在这个地方呢，我们看到的是我们的熟悉的王慧，王慧，谢谢你每一次都会针对一位讲师，那你在这里面呢，去讲到的秋玉师姐，因为对你来讲可能。有感，你从参加读书会几乎每一周给我们这样的善效应，所以你其实已经做了30篇，所以你把自己的数目制作累积下来也将近了15000个字了哈。那在这个地方，你非常感佩秋玉师姐，她做了300个网页这一个部分哈，所以在这里也展现这样的一个能量。然后秋玉师姐
There are more feedback from our families in China.
从发挥微光的照黑暗，也让你非常的有感。谢谢陈邻居，你说俯首甘为孺子牛，在这一次呢。
The one on the left, this lady, she wrote feedback every week, and she says has accumulated over 30 feedback. And our graphic team always make them into a very nice and pretty flyer.
那这个部分也让你非常的一个感动，把它有感写下来。我讲的都只有直接重点，但是你们的善效应我们都传到群组，让更多人透过文字遇见这里面的真善美。接下来呢，我们即将到哪里去？到大陆去了哈。每一次到大陆会随着的因缘上线的一个因缘。
Flyer were designed by our sister in Thailand.
所做的慈济师哈，那。我们看到这个是绝对是非常非常的一个心疼的一个画面哈。那当然这是一个临时的一个意外，可是这样的一个意外的时候呢，
For people who don't have time to look at those feedback, we'll also send it to our different social media team. Now we're doing call out to China.
但是因为一场意外，可能很多人都要加入协助，所以在这个地方我们可以。
This may be graphic and
走势在第一个时间表达这份关怀，给予最及时的一个给助，而他们也在慢慢的一个恢复当中哈，所以我们非常感恩。
We are looking at the
大连的一个志工哈，那接下来我们来看一下哈这个坑洞。
This family
的一个地方呢，我们可以看到的是
were burned by fire, and Tzu Chi volunteer at China. Liaoning, Dalian City has been with them ever since the beginning.
用了很多的一个力气，很多人去把这个坑洞给它填起来。填起来以后呢，
They've been with them from the very beginning. Never missed a visit.
这每一个地方也非常感恩人文真善美团队哈，虽然
And this is also the city 大连。
影像其实你看这边有没有出现叮叮叮叮叮叮？好，就是。 今天要上线的钉钉呢，它本身呢就是这样子的一个。
There's a big hole at this family's backyard.
所以很多的报道，它就是第一线的去做记录。那么在辽宁
So Tzu Chi volunteer came here.
推树的时候，其实他们是下功夫的哈。所以去下功夫的时候，不是好吃。
They put all the soil on top of this big hole and make it into a land where they can plant vegetables.
所以我们现在呢，要邀约大家一起跟着通关密语，先到我们的大陆去了。我喜欢和你在一起，因为你有正能量。所以我们到大连，还丁丁，还有周中辉师兄，请是。
They were created by
全球
the
的线上的
volunteers.
慈济家人们，大家上午好。
They are not just eating something vegetarian, but make it look so nice and pretty. And let's clap hands with me Let's call out to our volunteers. The family. My name is Ting. I'm one of the volunteers. Today, I would like to introduce you a good friend in our community. His name is Zhuang Xue, 50 years old. Speaking of the acquaintance with him, is actually quite a story. Our environmental protection station is near his house. We actually met his mom first. At first, I met his mother. Because of his personality, he has a different life. Up until now, he's still so-called 3-no person. No job, no family, no friends. Before getting acquainted with Tzu Chi, he and his mother depended on each other for life and rarely interacted with others. He's kind of different, I have to say. But he's been changed a lot, so I'm going to let him do the talk. I'm the strange person that Ding Ding's sister talked about earlier. When I first participated in the activity of the resource reclassification, I have question and doubt about this organization. Now I look back, I have closed my heart for a long time. Didn't have nothing else to do. I just come here and spend time as a pastime. However, as the contact with city people increased and deepened, their effort touched my heart. Unconsciously, I gradually changed from a passive bystander to an active participant. People often say quantitative change can bring qualitative change. This sentence is a proof to me. My mother suddenly passed away earlier this year due to an accident. In less than 24 hours, heaven and earth were eternally separated. Those Tzu Chi people who accompany me through the bottom of my life, we are not related, but we are closer than relatives. And with them, I witnessed many different families and also seeing various difficulty and pains. People often compare the caring between people to existence like the sun. And we sometimes describe a person as a sunny personality. To me, sun is warm in the winter but hot in the summer. It can be uncomfortable to people during a hot summer day. The moon is different. No matter the night of spring, summer, autumn, and winter, the moon always silently shines in the darkness with their clearness. Maybe no one will deliberately avoid the moonlight. I have experienced the above mentioned feeling in my heart since the pain of losing my mother during these 10 months. When my mother passed away unexpectedly, I was also suffering from illness. A lot of time, I just, when I first joined Tzu Chi, I just stand on the side and just look at them. But after my mother left, under the intense pain, my mentality changed subtly. Although my mother left, a window opened in my heart, a window that is beautiful link to the world and people, as if someone gave a little match girl a candle. Although the candle could not completely get rid of the cold and hunger, it gave her light and hope and warmed her heart.
好，非常感恩我们的丁丁。
Even though the first half of my life is ignorant, there's no need to feel sad. I'm going to run the second half of life with all my heart.
我们再次用掌声感恩你们，谢谢你们上线哈。好，那在这个时间点，我还是要稍微提到
I'm so proud that we are part of the witness that witnessed is life changing.
我们的酒精这个喷射的，你可以跟我们团队讲，我们让你再抹一次，然后闻闻它的味道，它真的是完全可以很好吸收的。包括2楼的团队，
Thank you for your companionship. Thank you so much.
加入能量哈。那接下来就是讲师初级精彩自己的这一个部分了哈。那我们今天呢，在画面上我们看到的就是每一课都好。
I want to mention again about this antibacterial hand cream. It can replace the alcohol. Your hand will fully absorb all this moisture.
很可惜，他站在人群中，所以只能戴着口罩哈。私底下再跟阿板来做相见欢。等一下他会有1分钟的一个站相，但是现在简报上大家有没有看到
So coming up next will be our featured guest speaker today. As you can see from your screen, we have some merchandises that is created by our art design team with Sister Mei Hui. And these characters were actually drawn by our speaker, Aban. And so you can see there's a trio of items in celebration of the third anniversary of the study group. But for today, because we have the opportunity, I have the designer coming in, we have brought them back from storage to share with everyone. And it's also when the 4-in-1 team from the US came by, I received a mission to design a pamphlet for them. So that's how we got the opportunity to collaborate. So as we see some of the art design that roses may have a lot of thorns, but when we see people that sometimes we are unable to tolerate, we're going to treat them like a rose that we have to love with them. We have to love them even though they are full of thorns. And then I'm very grateful that during the kids' holiday, because that time when everyone was in the editing room, she created this card for us. So where did she come from? Well, this is her story. So in 1992 was when the Teachers Association started, and with the blessing of masters, it started the teaching association. So how do you learn about Tzu Chi if you're not there living the history? Well, it is through the history of Tzu Chi, through this book created by the editing and compilation group. And from the different times, and you can understand what initiated or started the different projects. And all the stories are in the Jingsi Dharma lineage. history book. So this is a very important book, is that when you open the book, you will notice that you want to continue to read, because not only is it well written, it's also very comforting to understand and entice us to want to know more about Tzu Chi's history. So I invite everyone to come into understanding Tzu Chi's story. So from this book, this is what I would like to introduce to all of you. And there are going to be six books in there in this series. Now, since Sister Aban is a very well-known artist, a lot of people ask her for her collaboration for her to join in. And you can see when the Education Foundation, the CEO, invited her to draw the caricatures for the new book. That's how she got involved. And we can see that she's drawing on her tablet, and she might talk about more about the story later on. So in the early days, you may see some of the artwork, including a polar bear, and that is also came from her hands. This is when she was much younger, when she was still as a collegiate volunteer. So even when she was the president of their local Tzu Chi club, she started to practice artistic talents. And because of her ability, she's not in the religious department, but rather in the editing and compilation office. And coming to Tzu Chi, she also has a lot of challenges that she herself has to conquer. But fortunately for her, she encountered Tzu Chi at a very young age. And with creativity, she drew her emotions, her feelings, and what she received from Tzu Chi. But his parents left to work in Vietnam, so she had to take care of her house, take care of her home from an early age. And so now I would like to ask everyone for a round of applause to welcome Sister Aban to come. So from the pictures, from the videos, we can see when she was younger, and when she was involved in different groups. And it's also with her interaction with Brother Joe Huang when they're hosting events. So we can see that she's really an approachable person. And in addition, we're very grateful for sisters in Thailand who contributed this book for everyone. And you can see that I have her autograph in my book because I have finished the entire book. So when you first see her, you may feel that she's an artist. She's more into drawing than writing, but in reality, she also has a lot of stories included in her book, in her drawings, and even including Korean dramas that she took inspirations from them. And she's also drawn a lot of monsters. But mostly she's trying to convey the, the morals of the stories or the books that she has encountered. And one of the books that she has mentioned a lot is A Salute to Life. And it was a book published by Sister Jingren of the religious department. Now she was gonna come with her today, but because of some scheduling conflict, they couldn't come together. But as you can see in this book, that there are two parts in the book when they mention the stories they share with each other. So there are 5 stories of their interaction between Aban and Sister Jingren that's included in this book. But even though these are some lighthearted stories, it's actually filled with thoughts and inspirations. And you can see all the pamphlets and all the boards that we have. And these are the emblems for our line group, for our translation teams. And we all included one thing in common, that is the logo that was designed by Sister Aban. And now, as her number one fan, I'd like to invite her to share. Hello everyone, my name is Huizi, and I know this is Sister Aban's first book. Back then was when I was in Dai TV station at the end of that year. I started designing artwork for the study group. And in order to continue, I gathered some inspirations from Sister Aban. And then one day I found out that we went to the same school. And it happened that she was in a class older than me. So it's quite unbelievable, the karma affinities that we share. And even now that we're still in Tzu Chi doing artwork, doing the same thing. So all of the participants' the card are all designed by Sister Huizi. And so you can see the number of the years, or including our 8th year anniversary logo. You see the 5th year, the 6th year, and that has continued the same trend starting from when Sister Aban designed it. So let's give a round of applause for Sister Aban and invite her to share with us today. Dear Masters, dear Masters, and every participant who are here, wish you all a good day. It's really moved to be here, and there's so many surprises. It's kind of hard to calm down right now. But first, let me bring in the good news from Hualien. Before I left the abode, Sister Jingyuan has presented to Master the sutra of 42 pages. And during the conversation, they talked about the Dharma lineage. And they also talked about the Kaohsiung study group. And they shared that how Sister Meiling had been very diligent in leading the group to study. And it's quite inspiring to see how they were able to bring Dharma in a different way to everybody, to reach everyone. So let me bring up to my new book, Every Moment a Good Moment. Looking back, sometimes it's kind of hard to see myself when I was in my younger days. So I kind of want to look back as well and see how I started and what started my inspiration. From the news clips earlier, you can see how when I first drawn about fulfilling dreams, it is a sutra performance and share about fulfilling your vows. So when that was when Master came to Taichung and we had the opportunity to meet her in person. And because of the opportunity, they invited me to draw a picture to give to present to Master. And that's why I came with this picture that even though we're all calm in fulfilling the dream, it's actually surrounded by large waves. And Master asked me what I want to do. And I told Master that I wanted to go to that boat and continue my drawings. And at that time, I felt like my my wish has been fulfilled because I was able to present my drawings. But then people around me started to ask, well, why didn't I draw about the what the male presenters, how they would cross the ocean? So I continued on that drawing and I realized I might have mistaken the order. It should have been first started with acting on the vows, riding through the waves, and it is through using our body to realize, to act upon the Dharma and spread it to the people. And it's from then you were able to fulfill the dreams. So that has been so these two drawings has been part of my motivation not to forget about the initial inspiration. And from there on, in 2013, I started my collections on Facebook in a group. And from the different opportunities, different events, I received multiple inspirations and understandings. And from you can see that my drawings are more on the cute side, more like on the caricature side. And there are actually a lot of other volunteers who have great artistic talents, and I've seen their work in Hualien. So when I saw the pictures or the drawings I did when the study group was in the third year, I started to think that maybe it's time to do a little update. And every time I see these drawings, I tend to ask myself, is it okay to draw like this? And I learned that in order to maintain my sincerity and to share selflessly, that is the basis of my drawings. But when I published it, then the platform is not just for myself. Every time I publish it, it's an opportunity to spread Dharma, to share Dharma with everyone. So when we're facing the empty spaces, sometimes it's very difficult to present onto paper, and maybe want to think about how I want to what I want to convey on the limited amount of space. So I want to let people who have read to can feel and benefit from what I'm trying to say there. So from so before I started my creations, I always learn more about the Dharma from Master and understand what she's trying to convey. At the same time, we also have a little podcast called We Talk. And from the pictures here, you can see that we're trying to use a different vehicle, using a younger perspective of the younger people to spread, to talk about Tzu Chi. And whenever I see a sharing from Master or teaching from Master that's very beneficial, I always wanted to share with everyone. So I would mark it in different colors. So it goes to show you that it's very important to document and to take notes at any moment. And you can see here, these are all the paraphernalia I have it actually takes a lot of work and all the difference. From like, for example, this drawing of the bamboo bank. This is started when Master was reminding us to go back to the spirit of the bamboo bank. So I wanted to share with you what the benefits or what the bamboo bank is really trying to convey. And I got the inspiration from a advertisement commercial from Coca-Cola, where once you put the coin in, a bunch of gremlins or spirits will create the Coke and bring out the Coke for you. So I wanted to make this picture that the the coins you put in there is actually becomes fused and shared to the blue angels who are Tzu Chi volunteers, and to bring that and light up the dark places around the world. So from here, this is what inspired me to create this picture and trying to bring out a different meaning to bamboo bank. So how do we convey the spirits or the essence in different ways? That's still what I'm trying to learn. I just want to share with you this quote: who invented words? Who invented books? That is between the wise and the writers. Who can make hard to understand words become clear? Well, that's the work of a comic book artist. So the most important dharma is to be implemented between people. The distance between us is called the Bodhisattva path. And Bodhisattva and sentient beings may have a bit of distance, but when sentient beings are suffering, that distance disappears. So between having the distance to no distance, what is the difference? What created such difference? That is what we need to ponder. So this is how I portrayed it. From here, you can see bodhisattvas are very calm in a state of perpetual calmness, but the sentient beings are always in a state of worry. So there's such a distinction. But when sentient beings are suffering, we can see that the bodhisattvas will reach out and close that distance. And when I finished this drawing, I was afraid that I didn't get the point across properly. So I asked the above masters, and I was able to receive the affirmation from the above masters, who share with me how one person can change a whole life by just closing that distance. So when we're trying to present in the sutra, what the sutra is depicting, how to create what the sutra was trying to portray, like breaking through the perceptive afflictions and leaving the house on fire, the engulfed house, or see through the dust-like afflictions, leaving the imaginary dwellings, or even to break through the ignorance and arrive in the treasured place. So how do we convey that? How would you portray that in our real life? One day in an event, I got the inspirations. When I was in the religious department, I was in the AB team. So one day I encountered a volunteer who's not so great with computers. And when I told him that next he needed to go to the computers to help with the speaker's computer. But then when I turned around, I saw he's still following me, not with the speaker. So it naturally got me a little frustrated. And that's when I remember that we're trying to leave the fire engulfed house, or when we're leaving our emotions. And why can't we leave it? Because we have such a big heads. We have big heads that couldn't pass through. So it's like everything is focused on our ego, on our mind. At the same time, the second stage, we're passing through the imaginary dwelling, imaginary city. And I was inspired that by taking deep breaths, with the passage of the time, take a deep breath and to remind or see clearly the situation at hand and to understand perhaps that maybe working with working with different volunteers at different age group, we may have to give them tasks that are fitting to their age group. So finally, we came to the treasure place with a smile and come to the realization of helping them to accomplish the task at hand. So from there, we can see everyone here wanted to make things better. Nobody wanted to make things worse. From here, you can see the three states that we have to be in, and that became what I use every time I feel frustrated or encounter difficulties. So this is what I would like to share with you. That every time when I see masters share teachings, I want to understand how I'm able to present that in our life. And in the abode, I'm also in charge of other household tasks. For example, washing dishes. And there are multiple stages when washing dishes at the abode. The first is to scrape out the leftovers and then to rinse with water. And one day when I was rinsing in water, I heard a crisp sound, and everyone looked around and noticed that the plate has shattered. And I heard the masters next to me was saying that, oh, to be careful because there might have some hidden injuries in the plate. And I thought, how does a plate have injuries? Well, the abode master shared with me that sometimes when doing the washing, it had to be done very quickly. So there could be some careless acts that created small injuries or cracks in the plate and ultimately led to it being shattered. So it reflected upon myself that from throughout our daily lives, we may have picked up cracks here and there, and then it just all triggered and shattered when the right opportunity comes. So we have to be careful and be light about how do we interact with other people so that we don't create cracks among our relationships. So, and I was sharing that, even though it is great to have this opportunity to learn, I'm also afraid that I might be breaking all the plates in the abode. Unfortunately, that only happened twice. One day that we see the older volunteers who are cleaning up and moving the big round tables. We can see volunteers who are the elderly volunteers. They're walking by with the tables, and and then we see how the younger volunteers are able to carry two tables at the same time because they feel like as a younger volunteer they needed to help the older ones. So when I heard that story, I was really motivated that I wanted to share that with everyone. And I remember what the sutra was saying about the unbreakable. And we understand that to be unbreakable does not mean that one will not be damaged, because we see that our bodies are oftentimes damaged. We have aches and pains here and there. But at the same time, Master has shared that part of the sutra, sharing that observing the sound of trilocosm, those sounds of good and evil resonates around the ears. Distinguished correctly and without mistakes, that is truly that's the truth of unbreakableness. So rather unbreakable does not mean that one will not be damaged or consumed. Rather is to full-heartedly utilize one's bodily functions to put that into action. So I always reminded myself that even until I can still contribute, I am unbreakable. In this book, and I tried different creative outlets through different themes, different style of drawings, comics, or even short stories. And I tried to make this, it's like you're watching a movie or a Korean drama. Sometimes there are some notable or classic quotes that we can include. So like, for example, from here, this one on the left side that said, to be very clear about the future means we have to start being mindful now. Or the next one, to firmly grasp time means we need to be diligent. A moment of diligence means a moment that belongs to you. So we all know that time is constantly slipping through our hands. But if we're able to fully utilize that minute, that time, then that time will forever belong to us because we have created something. At the same time, I realized drawing by hand is very time consuming. So I have learned to draw more on tablets or on computer. Like for nowadays, from the essence of Buddhi mind, I have received numerous inspirations. Like this one here, by firmly rooted on the right path, even as time passes without stopping, goodness will remain with the passing of time. Or here, that only seeds of appreciation will bring a fulfilling life. So I really like to continue my drawings and maybe in the future continue to publish. So why do I name this book that every moment is a good moment? Is every moment really a good moment? Well, as people ask me what I wanted to name my book, and I thought long and hard. And some people even recommend saying that why don't we call it New 2.0 so we can continue to update it in the future editions. Fortunately, this stupid idea never took root. But it also made me wonder that in the world, there's always all sorts of sufferings in this life. So it's not every moment is truly a good moment. But at the same time, we may know that life is impermanent and empty. So by looking through the true value of life, we started our spiritual cultivation. And when I was looking for the answer, I saw a clip on YouTube where the Japanese teacher was teaching about kanji, and we can see the minor differences that in Chinese writing, even in the Chinese writing, blessing without missing a small bit can become suffering. So when I understand, so I realized that there's no life in this world in which there are no sufferings, but rather suffering is truly precious because it is through the suffering that we learn to be blessed. We learn that we are blessed and to be truly grateful for such sufferings. So that's why we always say that we needed to walk into those who are suffering and helping them, because without suffering, one cannot fully absorb the essence of Dharma. And when we're helping them, their life of sufferings will truly change because of the little bit we give them. And in some of the households that we visit, because of we visited them, the children have a whole new lease on life. And also love what Master said that what does it mean to be a true practitioner? Master has shared that to be a true practitioner, we must first feel that we are truly ordinary. And as Master has shared in her aphorism that every day is a page in my life. Every person before my eyes becomes a letter of the page. One must obtain Dharma through the living and not obtain living through Dharma. So my understanding of this quote is that we're not just trying to write words or live through the words, but rather we are writing the pages of our life through the things that we do. through the interactions that we have with other people. So it inspired me to think that we are walking among the suffering and experiencing the joy with Dharma, with the Bodhisattvas. When we're looking back, we're always in looking back to see what we have done. And when we understand them with Dharma, we understand that what we have done is a collection of our wisdom life. It's nourishing our wisdom life. So every moment becomes a fulfilling moment when we spread Dharma to everyone. So with that inspiration, we'll continue to walk forward. And thank you all so much for your time today. So this book, it's a coincidence that the last of her slides also to share infinite gratitude. So if you have a book, you can share with us that. You can open up to this page, on the last page, how she was sharing, giving thanks to today is being a very ordinary day. So when I heard her say that, I couldn't stop the tears in my eyes. And it is really amazing to see that this book is such an easy read, but even though it's an easy read, it's filled with some deep understanding, deep inspirations. So we have a lot to talk about. And unfortunately, because we have a limited number of them, we can't give everyone the anniversary presents. But we have the opportunity to give everyone this book. That is this book, that every moment is a good moment. And we really hope that everyone can really live through the spirit of this book, where living every moment as a good moment. And this book is suitable for all ages, even for those who can't understand the words, because most of them are in pictures. So you can share a little bit about the Mother Teresa that you draw in the book. So from the stories I've heard of her, of Mother Teresa is that she's a Catholic nun. And she shared that she hoped that she were able to be shattered, and that really shocked me, because who will be willingly want their heart to be shattered? But the next word she said was that to be shattered, that she wanted her heart to be shattered so that it could be spread across the world, and that really matches with what Buddhism is trying to teach, that to bring our hearts and spread across the world to everyone who we encounter. So in the book, there's a lot of inspiring quotes and inspiring stories. And we can see where she draw a lot of her inspirations from movies, from dramas. And so I would like to share this blessing with everyone. Hope that having this book means that every moment you live will be a good moment to live with. So coming back to my report, I'm very grateful for everyone leaving their comments, and especially those who, if you watch it later, remember to leave your comment as well. So also remember to shop Jingsi products, and including the new products that are on the market right now. Coming up next week, we have a connection with with Sister Deborah in the Tzu Chi USA, as well as the Tzu Chi University Religion and Humanistic Studies Group professors. And this is our next speaker, who is the Tzu Chi University Secretariat. On the 22nd, we have a superintendent, as well as star dramas, star and co-star. So every week we have some amazing speakers. And now I would like to ask everyone to please rise and form a group bow. First bow, second bow, and third bow. And please wave goodbye.